Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 12 of the Renovation and Outdoor Living Show. Good to see you all this Friday afternoon, certainly New Zealand time, about lunch, or just late morning in Australia, and whatever time you are in America and Europe. Now, this is a show which, as you probably know, we started up at the beginning of the COVID-19 lockdown, but the plan was always to continue long after we're allowed out again, which in New Zealand we are. I think Australia, you're tracking at a very similar sort of pace with COVID, and the US and UK a wee bit behind, but we're watching with anticipation that things start coming right for you a wee bit. Now, on Tuesday, we talked about the most organic of garden ideas, if you remember. We talked also then about the most inorganic, I guess, of the garden ideas. We spoke first to Jason Clark from Zones Whangarei. He was explaining all about edible landscaping, designing your outdoor spaces around growing organics, such as your veggies and your edible plants. And then we spoke to Phil Lewis, who was saying, bin the natural grass, go for artificial turf. He works for a company called Team Turf. He told us all about the pros and cons of putting down artificial turf in place of real grass, plus the huge range of the different turfs which you can now get. We then also looked at the barbecue from Outdoor. Outdoor gave us Weber Q1000. I think it's the Q1000. Anyway, it's the wee Weber one. It's the portable one that you can chuck in the car boot on the boat, or perfect for your deck or your balcony. But of course, you can still use it in the backyard. We are going to be giving that away, probably not today. We're going to give you today to enter that, which is a good time to remind you that you can enter on the comments page and also make comments. Say hello. Say goodbye, say whatever you like, ask questions of our experts today, or ask questions of the Refresh and Zones experts who can pick up on them and come back to you individually to answer them. So today, the theme, what you need to know before you start. And we're not talking we're going to talk shortly about one project area in particular, but surely the first thing you ever think about when it comes to property nowadays is insurance. I mean, you have to put insurance in place before you're even allowed to go into the bank to get a mortgage. So if you're buying a place, insurance is certainly one of the first things you could think about. So we decided we wanted to talk to someone who knows a thing or two about the insurance requirements when we're doing a renovation. Do we use our insurance? Do we get special insurance? Do the renovation team we're using, do they have insurance? Whatever it is. So we dug up Dirk Wiesner. Now, Dirk joined the Apex insurance team earlier this year as an account director, but he's been around a while. He's a seasoned leader who's worked commercially in the insurance industry in Australia and Germany, including construction engineering and the property divisions of some of the big insurers like Allianz, AXA, QBE, and Willis Towers Watson. And good to see you. Now, so it's a bit confusing here because you're a German with Australian citizenship who now lives here in Auckland. But I think as far as the insurance goes, it's pretty much the same. Now, let's start with the why. Why do we need insurance? And have you got some examples of where the claim justified the need for proper insurance or didn't?
Look, I mean, the big thing is when you have a project like a renovation going on, insurance is one of the most important things. So we always recommend, and we're in partnership with Zones and then Refresh with the group. And so what happens is literally the Refresh or Zones friends of us, they bring the insurance package with them. So they have a big insurance program in place. So if anything happens on site, and our Refresh Zones clients are responsible for. So we literally have the right package in place to give the homeowners, which is literally the most important part of the whole contract, the coverage.
So, Dirk, we don't, as homeowners, we don't have to think about insurance. Should we think about it? Should we ask if we take on a team like a Refresh team? Should we be asking them about this, or I mean, at what point do we no longer have to really have responsibility as the customer?
Yeah, look, the great thing with Refresh and Zones is they have the insurance package which they bring with them. So they are literally project managers. They make sure that everyone who comes on site has the insurance, brings the insurance with them. So obviously the whole thing works. Our Refresh friends and Zone friends, they come on site, do the project management, they get the right subcontractors in. But before they even tap into the house, they make sure that these people from the subcontracting companies have their own liability coverage, their contract works and coverage in place.
That's great. I don't know that necessarily everyone, I mean, with refreshing zones, it sounds as though they're ahead of the game on that one. But I'm sure that there must be cases when you do have some contractors maybe who come in and they don't have the right insurance, or they do, but they don't want to use it. Do you ever hear about that?
Um, well, as a building practitioner, you should definitely have it in place. Otherwise, look, the regulations in the States, in Australia, in New Zealand, they vary. But the most important thing is literally have it in place and come on site. If you're a building practitioner not having the right insurance in place, the refresh and the zones people wouldn't even put them into
Yeah.
their network.
Yeah.
And that's a
What
good
happens?
thing.
Yeah,
Okay?
what happens if you've got a team on site? Let's say they're doing some outdoor renovation and they're digging for a new deck, and they go through I don't know, the swimming pool filtration system or something. They don't realize it at the time. The new deck goes in. 3 weeks later, the filter, the $12,000 filter machine on the swimming pool all clogs up and breaks. How do you work through that as a consumer and having had the team in there?
Well, the great thing is with refresh and zones, they have that policy in place. If anything doesn't work, they come back on
Yeah.
site and fix it. So great stuff for us. And we would then do a review on the whole thing. If that thing is covered, that claim, it's claimable under the insurance program. However, it gets fixed by refresh and the zones friends in any way.
What are the common areas that you see claims coming through?
Look, it's usually during the construction phase. So let's say you do some painting and the refresh boys get a painter in there that just do a $2,000 job, which is quite small. But let's say they drop a bit of paint and just try to clean the whole stuff with some turpentine. And then out of a sudden, somebody drops a cigarette and the whole thing goes in flames and the whole place burns down. I mean, the house of our end consumers is the biggest asset we have in life. You know, that is in New Zealand, in Australia, in the States. There's no different. So, but that shows you that a small job can actually create a huge claim. And that is another recommendation from Apex Insurance. You at home, as the end client, should always make sure that the home and content insurance is aware of what's happening at your place, so that there's a renovation going on. Rules are different countries, different insurers. So always make sure your home and contents insurer is aware of the fact that there's a construction going on at your home.
That's really important, isn't it? Because
Yes.
although you may not have to rely on your own home insurance policy, you will probably have to use if your house goes up, you're going to have to use your contents insurance. Yeah. So, is there a point at which your contracting team or your project management team no longer have to take responsibility, or is it a bit of a grey area?
Look, I mean, the good thing also with the product, the refresh and zones boys have in place and girls, we have a contract perils cover. So if the house of our end consumer is getting damaged due to a construction-related peril, then actually the cover comes in and replaces the damage. So let's say our refresh guys, for some reason, the house burns down and refresh would be legally liable for the whole thing. Then it is covered under the insurance program via Apex Insurance and zones/refresh.
Cool. Awesome. Hey, thank you, Dirk. Now, we did see a picture of your team come up just now, and I hope we'll be able to put up your website. If anyone wants to get hold of you guys at Apex, it is, there we go, apexinsurance.co.nz. And that is Dirk Wiesner. Thank you so much, Dirk, for giving us some time. And
we're ready at Apex. Cheers.
Yeah, good. So get onto the website and look up Dirk, and he'll give you a hand if you need some help. So I mentioned the barbecue competition. Do get your entries in. This is the baby Weber. It was really popular when we talked about it on Tuesday. It's a cracking prize. So put in some live comments right now if you want to, or wherever. There you go. This is what you have to do to win it. You have to tell us what your next outdoor project is going to be. or might be, or whatever. But yeah, let us know what you're thinking about for the outdoors, and you can win that Q1000 Weber to put on your deck or in the back of the car. So back to our theme. What do you need to know before you start? And we look at preparation of a specific area of renovation. Probably one of the rooms which takes the most attention when we're renovating, and that is the bathroom. Okay, so what you need to think about when you first sit down with your renovation specialist. Well, Virginia Henry is business development manager at Highgrove Bathrooms. She grew up amongst a family building business. She spent 6 years in real estate, but the last 7 years she's been in design and construction. 2 of those years with Highgrove Bathrooms, where Virginia was responsible for launching their commercial division in Brisbane and Sydney. And Virginia can join us now from sunny Brisbane. Good to see you this morning. Thank you, so this afternoon our time. Great to see you. So I'm interested to know, when you're setting up these new offices in Australia, what's your focus? Is it all about networking? Is it all about trying to just build up this huge network of architects and builders?
Yeah, definitely. So I deal a lot with the architects, the developers, local builders, everyone around the area that's doing any bathroom renovations or builds.
And you're saying, come by Highgrove. Is Highgrove an Australian company?
It is. It's actually Australian owned and operated. So we've got about 50 showrooms around Australia now that we should have by the end of the year. So we actually design and manufacture all our own product. So wow. The benefit for the end user as well as the builders is that you're dealing directly with the supplier. So which I find is really useful when I'm talking to builders, especially saying, you know, if you've got a product, firstly, obviously, you don't have the middleman, so the cost is going to be lower. And we're very stringent on the quality of our product to make sure that they're not going to have any issues, because obviously we carry that warranty and we don't want to have to deal with the problems about it. So the builder's got that back end support as well to know that they can come directly to us and can sort out any problems.
That's great. That's great assurance, isn't it? I want to talk about trends shortly, but I am interested to know. So you've got 50 odd stores across Australia. It's been an interesting time, where less so in Australia because I think people have been out shopping. But we talked about the other day how the renovation market was going to get probably a bit of a boost out of this. This is where people wanted to spend money as opposed to going to restaurants or the theatre or on holiday. Have you found that?
Yeah. Sorry, what was that?
Is that what you guys have found? Why? Because your stores have stayed open, haven't they not?
Yeah, definitely. So we've been able to have retail clients come through as well as trade. So in Australia, especially, the construction has been an industry that the government has backed and made sure that it continues on, which has been great for jobs and just continuing on with things. So some of the clients that I deal with that are doing the big high rises and apartments and important infrastructure has been able to continue to go ahead, which I think has been really great for our economy and just a bit of even consumer confidence that, you know, this is a bit of a pause. It's not a stop. A little bit different to the GFC that we saw a few years ago, where I think the GFC was a bit more of a slow burn build that just blew up and then took a long time to get over. I don't see that being an issue here, and luckily a lot of the developers and builders that I talk to are seeing that it's a bit of a blip in the radar. It's a big blip, but I think it's something we're going to recover from a lot quicker than the GFC and be able to get back on top of our feet with.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for that. So let's talk about the trends that you're seeing. I'll start with, okay, I've got a bit of a checklist. I want to know about the colours. What colours are people going for?
Actually, it's been really great. I think a lot of pastels are coming through lately, which I'm quite a big fan of. As you would see, we are suppliers on a show in Australia called House Rules. So they've used a lot of our product here, and we've got this beautiful cast iron pastel pink bath, which is one of my personal favourites. But we're seeing a lot of bold colours too. So that's been quite nice. Some really beautiful deep blues. But then you do get the other, some people still want to stick with just like all white and neutral, and just depends on what type of...
With something like that bath, do you find that some people might fall in love with the bath and then they'll design the entire room around it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So freestanding baths in particular are starting to make a massive comeback. So a lot of people are making sure they're designing the bathroom around the fact so that they can actually fit this bath in their bathroom. So like on these photos here, you can see there's a bit of a trend moving towards a wet area rather than just the shower and the bath. So they might have the bath set in an area that the actual shower's in as well. So that allows for that space for that freestanding bath. So you can be like quite creative and get those little bits of luxury that you want in the bathroom. So
it's interesting you talk about the wet space. So do you think the days of going to the bathroom shop and buying the I don't know, the all-in-one unit with the sliding door across, I mean, are they running out? Because I mean, they're certainly more budget conscious, but it seems to me as though a lot more people are involved, are sort of having sort of specifically bespoke shower areas and wet areas built.
Yeah, definitely. Especially in Australia. I know New Zealand's designs can be a little bit different, but we're seeing a bit of a retraction to how much glass is actually used in the shower area. So it's quite common to actually have just one pane of glass that might stop the majority of the water being flown out. Or so like in this photo here, it's sort of the frameless showers are really popular too because you don't see it. It just blends in with the bathroom. And as a mother of 3 children who hates cleaning the bathroom, these are brilliant because they're really a lot easier to keep clean, because glass is one of the hardest things in the bathroom to actually keep clean. So the less you have of it, the easier it is. And then you don't have all the sills and everything else around it. And yeah, much cleaner, tidier look.
Yeah, well, in our house, we got 3 children. They have one of those squeegee things they have to do the glass with after every. And do you know how often they use it?
Like mine, never.
Yeah, never. So I just noticed in that last picture, something which I was interested in was the units, which sort of, the floating type units. Is that something else which is really common? Again, you probably pay a little bit more than just shoving in a standing unit. As far as the installation goes, but is that pretty popular? And also the fact the sinks are no longer a part of that unit.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of gone are the days where a bathroom is designed purely around the practicality of how you use the bathroom. I think people want something that's a bit more luxe, something that's going to look really lovely. And like I said, I think cleaning as well is something a lot of both parents are working, people are out, they don't have time all day to spend cleaning. So it's a big thing where they're like, I just want something that going to look good all the time and be really easy to keep clean. So these wall hung vanities are a really great option because they look fantastic. They're nice and easy. You can just mop straight underneath it. And it also gives the bathroom a bit more, it makes it look more spacious when it's up off the ground as well. And it does look a little bit more luxurious, I think, too. And the above mount basins are definitely very popular at the moment too. So.
Oh, they look cool, don't they? I think the whole thing is just reminds us of those luxury hotels, and we all think we're on holiday. Ash G has been writing in while we've been talking. I think she loves your bathroom. She loves freestanding baths. She's also said glass is so hard to clean. One fingerprint ruins the look. You're so right. That's really interesting. Very quickly, a lot of effect. It really interested me looking at the mirrors and the lighting behind them. That must be a big part of the pre-planning now.
Yeah, definitely. So lighting is becoming really quite important in the bathroom too. And again, it's not just these high-powered blast you lights. Particularly where I am in Queensland, the lighting doesn't play any part in kind of keep heating the bathroom. We have like always trying to keep things cool. I know probably more in New Zealand, you do have lights that might actually heat the bathroom as well, like the heat lamps. But a lot of people now are actually looking at the lighting as an ambient thing as well. So it can produce this beautiful ambience in your bathroom. LEDs are really popular in all parts of the bathroom. So underneath the vanities where they can cast a bit of light. You've got vanity niches, niches in the showers that can have the LEDs in there too. And so you can have that lovely sloth glow. We've got a range of beautiful LED mirrors that are very popular. And they look really lovely if you've got like a really little powder room or a little guest bathroom. You might have just a basin and a toilet, and then you can have this beautiful LED lights that can just be a real feature of the room. You can see in that photo with the LEDs and the niches, it just adds a whole nother element of luxury to the room. And I mean, obviously it is something you do need to discuss with an electrician before you put it in. But yeah, really, really beautiful.
Yeah, awesome. And so then that comes back to the point of the theme today, is that pre-planning. Talk about it before you put it in, see how it's going to work. Hey, Virginia, thank you so much indeed. That's really interesting stuff. I'd love to talk a wee bit more, because there are some other things, other details of some of those pictures I'd love to talk about, like wood or marble or porcelain or tile or whatever. But we need to move on very quickly, though. Haley, yeah, she into pastel purple. She loves your bathrooms. Hi, Haley. Sadie said, yeah, a little bit of pink goes down well. Linda, so nice to sit in a bath with soft lighting, would be so much more relaxing with a glass of champers, of course. Linda Henry shares a name with you. I wonder.
That's my mum.
Hi, Mum. Hi, Mum. There you go. Mum's watching. So there you go. She's more interested in the champers than the quality of the bath. But Virginia, thank you so much for giving us some time. That's Virginia Henry there, who's Business Development Manager at Highgrove Bathrooms in Australia. And we'll definitely have another chat with you in a few weeks' time with a real luck. So
thank you.
Do remember that if you want to discuss any projects with a landscaping specialist or a renovation specialist, we'll put up a screen at the end which will give you the contacts. We've also got a guide for bathrooms, which you can dig up from refreshrenovations.co.nz. If you go onto the website there, there's a cool bathroom guide which will give you a bit more detail about what we've been talking with Virginia about. And for the rest of us, well, it's the weekend, just about. The most popular pursuits. This is in New Zealand and Australia, where we're allowed out now, although Australia's been doing it for a while. In New Zealand, queuing for a haircut, proving very popular, and also going to half-empty restaurants. Except in America, where the restaurants are full, not of people, but of mannequins or stuffed animals or anything they can find, because the theory is no one wants to ever go and eat in an empty restaurant. If you see a restaurant's empty, there's a reason for it, so you avoid it. So the Americans, a lot of the restaurateurs there, are dressing up the empty seats with mannequins, and then they're dressing up the mannequins to set the scene. There you go. Nothing creepy about that at all. In Taiwan and Korea, they're filling the baseball stadiums with cutouts of people. They've even got cutouts of people holding up the signs supporting their favourite teams to try and give a bit of ambience back to there. In the UK, the officials are from England's top soccer league. Apparently, the EPL, they've been debating blasting fake fan noise into stadiums during matches to try and give a bit more ambience for the players. And a French karaoke show has replaced its live studio audience with an entire audience of elaborate balloon mannequins. So at least they've kept a balloon twister busy for the last goodness knows how many weeks. Strange times indeed. We'll draw out the winner of the barbecue next week on Tuesday. And until then, have a great weekend. Bye-bye.